Happy October, or whenever this video is gonna come out. Werewolves. They're great. I love them. Anyways, I know everyone's gonna be making the same jokes, so let's get them out of the way. Furries, they're fine. I'm not one, despite all evidence to the contrary. It's actually a very interesting topic for another video. Anyways, 2, no, I'm not real jazzed about, really, I don't know how to describe this in a family-friendly way, being by a bunch of werewolves outside of Denny's at 2 a.m. behind a dumpster. Yeah, this is a thing, it's a meme and stuff. I don't want it, no shame to the people who want it, but what the fuck? No. I just think werewolves are cool, and I would like to be one. But only if it doesn't suck! Stipulations. No uncontrollable rage. That sucks. Now, also, no exploding in blood! Can you imagine the carpet cleaning fees? And werewolf form actually has to look, you know, wolfish and not like a Chewbacca thing. This is just cousin it cleaned up for a job interview. Alright? Okay? Cool? Okay, this video isn't about that though. I want to break down how a werewolf could exist in the real world using normal yet supercharged biological functions and zero hand-wavy magic. And I'm gonna have to go with a standard, modern, culturally agreed upon version, so yes, I am gonna have to include the uncontrollable rage. Cool. Now, humans and wolves' most recent common ancestor was from about 90 million years ago with the Magna Order. I know how to say this. Come on. Boreoeutheria. With humans stemming from the clade, I know how to say these things, hold on! Uroconta. And wolves coming from the clade, Scrotifera. Yeah, you get one guess at what that refers to. So basically, our werewolf transformation is gonna have to cross 90 million years of evolution in a matter of minutes. Okay. Let's say our standard modern werewolf grows approximately 1.5 times the starting person's height. So we'll put an average human height of 5 foot 6 inches and a weight of 150 pounds. Do some square cube law math and we come out to 8 foot 3 inch high, 500 pound weight. That's a 2 foot 9 inch increase and a 350 pound weight increase. Again, in a matter of minutes. But before we get into that, we first gotta put a big ass nail in the coffin, the how itself. To get from one cellular structure to another, you basically have to switch a bunch of DNA on and off for every single cell you want to change. Maybe genetic engineering improves in the future and scientists are able to craft a reasonable hybrid blend between wolf and human DNA and are able to target exact cells to make it all work. But they'd have to make like 200 different viruses that can perfectly CRISPR every somatic cell in your body, adding not only the genes necessary to make the proteins and growth hormones, but also grow and add cells at the right time and place. And just engineer 200 of these using precise genes. Sounds easy. Now, I know what you're thinking. Couldn't you just do what moths and butterflies do? Turn into goop and reform into something else? Yeah, sorry. Turns out you're full of bones, teeth, and hair and nails that don't goopify well.
A caterpillar is a squishy little creature.
That's how metamorphosis works. I think I'm not an entomologist. But for the sake of this video, let's say our genius scientists are able to genetically engineer it perfectly. And with a monthly hormonal shift coinciding with a full moon, all the genes activate and it's probably just gonna still be a human at that point, cause yeah, here's the second big giant nail in the coffin. Time! Growth takes time! To get from one cell to another takes a lot of time! Mitosis takes time. Even the fastest growing cells, the skin and hair cells, don't grow that much. I found many different estimates on hair growth. I'm just gonna go with the fastest estimate I could find with the growth of scalp hair on a child at a whopping growth rate per hour of 0.0171 millimeters. Okay, what if we supercharge it to somehow an average of 5 centimeters in 5 minutes? That comes out to 600 millimeters an hour? That comes out to a 35,000 times increase of growth speed? Yeah, I don't think this is happening. Okay. Let's zoom out and take a look at the entire body. Our standard werewolf gains 350 pounds. We can estimate that about 75% of the protein input is going to be lost as heat, because human metabolism is approximately 25% efficient, so 350 times 4, 1,400 pounds of some sort of highly nutritious protein meal, mineral-packed, calorie-dense food? Let's go with pork, because they make a good human analog. Yeah, I watched a lot of Mythbusters as a child, thanks for asking. Estimates for gaining 1 pound of muscle say it takes about 2,700 calories to do so. And 1 pound of lean pork is about 1,099 calories. So approximately 3 pounds of pork per pound of muscle. So 350 times 3, 1,050 pounds of pork. Okay, so our range of about 1,050 to 1,400 pounds of pork, depending on how efficient you are. But we're not just building muscle. A werewolf also gains a lot of skeletal bone and organs. We can sort of hand-wave the organs, since those actually grow pretty regularly, and just estimate that if you're eating 3.5 times the amount of organs you're gaining, you should be okay. It's the bones we need to talk about. Bone growth is slow. It involves building a cartilaginous structure and then slowly having cells full of calcium and phosphorus harden in place, while the ends of the bones continue to grow and expand. Once it's done growing, that's it. You can't de-diaphysese bone. Once those growth plates are gone, they are gone. That doesn't mean bone is dead, however. Bone is very much alive. Your body actually replaces 10% of your skeletal cells a year. And there's a network of channels and blood vessels that keep the bone cells healthy. Now, could it be possible to force the osteoclast to soften by releasing calcium into the blood in one targeted area, so much so that it's basically a big hole, then have chondrocytes come in, excrete cartilage, building a framework, then grow and divide, increasing the length of the bone, then dying and ossifying to become bone? In theory, maybe. But you'd have to have some strong-ass osteoclasts. And what you'd essentially be doing is biochemically breaking your bones and subsequently healing from that fracture. And based on our time limit of 5 minutes, that's gonna hurt. And again, way too short of a time frame for any bone growth to feasibly occur. A typical fracture heals in about 7 weeks. So you'd be looking at 14,000 times increase in the rate of bone healing. But we're not talking about little tiny millimeter wide gaps that need to heal. We're talking about hands, spine, feet, pelvis, and the two big ones, the skull and the tail. The hands and feet just increase in length for the metacarpals, the metatarsals, and the phalanges. But when we're talking about the spine and the pelvis reforming so the coccyx and the sacrum unfuse and become growing vertebrae, that's a whole limb, baby! Complete with its own new muscles, new vessels, and nerves. Needless to say, that ain't happening anytime soon. I'm sorry, furries. And now, the skull. To get from human to wolf-esque, obviously the premaxilla, maxilla, nasal, and all the internal facial bones, vomer, mandible, and jugal would need to stretch and grow forward and somehow evenly, so that the teeth are properly spaced out, and also would need to grow outward and wider. especially all the bones of the zygomatic arch to encompass all the new jaw muscles. And possibly the most damning of all, I want you to take a look at the two skulls here. You notice something about these two brain cases? It's not that the wolf skull is stretched forward. It's that the human skull is just that much taller. The encephalization quotient is the ratio of brain to body size. In wolves, it is about 1.5. Guess how much a human's is? 7.6. All that brain, gone. Squished. Unless the cool genius scientist lets you keep that large amount of brain case and now you look like Megamind the furry. Another very important aesthetic effect of this are the ears. In your typical interpretation of a human with animal ears, people usually place them on top of the head. Like so. Right on either side of the junction between the frontal and parietal plates. For context, that's how this would look like on a wolf. So the vertical ear canal would have to be super long, like 20 centimeters at least, which I guess could work. You could just tell your genius scientist buddies that for aesthetic reason you don't want like a bugbear and that you're just gonna invest a lot of epiotic. And now, perhaps the second most damning of all bones to change. The teeth. Teeth don't grow. Bone might. Big caveat there, only certain cases, big asterisk there. But teeth? 100% no. They're outside of the body, exposed to air. The outside of the tooth, the enamel layer, is the hardest substance the human body can produce. It's not just gonna goopify and form big good boy canines. The only thing I can imagine working is that the werewolf teeth form inside the maxilla and mandible, and just like adult teeth to the baby teeth, just push the human teeth out as the skull grows. And you know already what I'm about to say, but I just gotta hammer it home. Teeth take forever to grow. As a baby, you're already born with your permanent adult teeth formed within your maxilla and mandible. It just takes some time for the baby teeth to fall out and the adult teeth to move in. You know, something that takes many years. And we've given ourselves, oh would you look at that, 5 whole minutes to experience the joys of an entire new set of teeth. God, I already have nightmares of teeth falling out. Imagine all that plus the horrifying pain of wisdom teeth growing in, but like all over the jaws. But I guess, in theory, it could be possible. And the uncontrollable rage. I don't know why the genius scientists would include that, but let's say they just messed up the new brain case formation and caused brain damage like you'd find in rabies. There you go, that was actually pretty simple. Just give them brain damage, easy. There you have it. You go from a 150-pound human to a 500-pound werewolf. And all it took was 200 different types of viruses, about 1,200 pounds of animal product. Hold on, wait. We didn't calculate something. The amount of calcium we need for the bones. Because now you have 52.5 pounds of extra bone. That's like 34 pounds of extra calcium you need? What? You gotta take like 60,000 grams of bone meal supplement. That's, possible to eat, I guess? That's like eating a truck tire made of bone? I guess it's possible if you're a hungry little werewolf. Okay, wash it down with a gallon of milk for good measure, and there you go, one werewolf. Okay, great. Look, I know 1,200 pounds of pork is a lot, but that's like 10 pigs. So you can imagine a hungry pre-werewolf just devouring a group of pigs and then pachow, werewolf. Wait, hold on, how many pounds of food can a stomach fit normally? 2.5 ounces, but it can expand to about one quart or 2 pounds. And it takes about 1.5 hours to move from the stomach to the small intestine. Okay, well, we'll turbocharge that. It'd be every 5 minutes, because super acidic enzyme? I don't know. That'll take a human 3,000 minutes or 50 hours to eat all that. Okay, if you somehow made the stomach more expansive, it would have to be 50 times the capacity to get that down to an hour. By the way, that amount of calories and that much pork could literally bring 4,234 gallons of water from freezing to boiling. For context, the human body has about 8. So, not an exaggeration here, just a fiery explosion as everything in the pre-werewolf's body grows uncontrollably as their bones break and grow in a whole new set of teeth. If you're somehow not boiled alive and still conscious despite the pain, congrats! You got like 8 hours till sunrise and you have to do it all over again. In reverse. Oh, what's that? You forgot you have to turn back? But this time you're losing 350 pounds? And all your bones have to melt again? And you have to regrow all your teeth? So, yeah, the reversion back to human would be extremely difficult, as over half of your body would have to die off to get back at least some semblance of human form. And that would again have to be programmed into the cellular viruses. Good luck trying to find out which cells to strategically kill off without killing the human, because nothing fills me with more hope than the phrase apoptosis of cardiac muscle. So obviously, time is a major factor here. Yes, you could eat that entire mountain, but obviously it's gonna have to be one bite at a time. Bit by bit, I would imagine a real werewolf transformation would have to take years, not to cause damage to the whole body. Much like puberty, but way more extreme. Even more realistically, it might be easier to just, make a mechanized fursuit. You could be both a Gundam and a Zoid, and just F it, and throw a water-cooled system and some cyberpunk shit, cause you better start believing in cyberpunk dystopias, cause you're in one, baby! Wait a minute. Monthly cycle like the moon? Growth of muscle and hair? I think there's a more realistic version of a real werewolf out there, and that is Transman. He's got the looks, he's got the changes, he's got the uterus that's on pause due to supplemented tea. This boy is as close to a real werewolf that modern technology has to offer, and we should salute our brave troops. Anyways, werewolves are cool as hell. I'd love to bound on old floors and rend flesh from limb with one swipe, ripping and tearing with my bare teeth, all while looking absolutely terrifying. And have a tail. Oh, and while I got you here, the phrase alpha wolf is BS, and the man who helped popularize it, David Meck, has long since said it is a mistake based on wolves in captivity and has spent his whole life researching wolves trying to clear their name. It's just the mommy and the daddy and their kids. You're not an alpha wolf. The only species I know of that has a ranked social order, kind of like a ladder, are chickens. So if you see yourself as the big guy in charge that everyone should listen to, you might as well be calling yourself a giant cock. Thanks for watching, everyone. I had a lot of fun making this video, and I hope you had a lot of fun watching it. I'd especially like to thank, I might pull my Patreon people up, Patreon. Especially like to thank Fairy Tarzana, Bree, Chris, DeRollin' Thunder, Haj, Eva, and Radar Love for their continued support through Patreon. If you like my content and you'd like to see me make more, head on over to patreon.com/Cosmine. I probably got the math wrong in this video. I'm not a nutritionist, and I know things are way more complicated than that, but I think it's fair to answer the question how well a werewolf would work is bad. Anyways, if you want me to make more videos similar to this one, make it obvious to me by like commenting, subscribing, and all that. Okay, bye!